Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Birch and Lily, my podcast about knitting and cross stitch. Today we have a knitting episode coming your way. It is June 6th, 2020. I thought I had worked on quite a few things the past couple weeks, but apparently not. My pile isn't super big, but I still hope you will enjoy what I have to show you guys this episode. Before I jump in, there are two places that you can find me on the internet. The first is on Instagram at birch.and.lily, and the second is on Ravelry at birchandlily. So I have one exciting announcement for you guys before I jump into a finished object. If you have been watching my podcast for a little while now, you will know I have had a sock pattern in testing. It is now complete and the pattern has been released on Ravelry. So I'll show you one sock here and then I have one off the blocker as well. This is the forward motion socks pattern. I knit these out of Fiber for the People yarn on her 75-25 base. I think it's just called Merino nylon 4-ply. But this is the colorway Granny's Tea Dress. And I will show you the front of the other sock really quick. So the sock just has this really pretty chevron pattern. Lots of texture, super fun. Anyways, the reason that I am showing these to you again is because, like I said, the pattern has released on Ravelry, and until July 9th, 2020 at midnight Eastern time, the pattern is 40% off on Ravelry. You don't need any coupon code, just put the pattern in your cart if you want it, and it will be 40% off. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that so that you could have a chance to grab this beautiful pattern that I'm so proud of at a discounted price. So that is it for mini type stuff. That's all the exciting new things I had to tell you. Let's jump into what I'm working on. I have one finished object to show you guys this episode. These are my Dolores Socks. This is a pattern from Sari, Norlund. I cast on 64 stitches on 2.25 millimeter needles, a US 1. And this colorway is from Hey Sister Yarn Co., who unfortunately is not dyeing anymore. I realized I forgot my ring. Whoopsies. This is from Hey Sister Yarn Co., who is not dyeing anymore. But this was a club colorway anyways, so even if they were, you probably wouldn't be able to grab it. So this beautiful orange is Fire Swamp, and the mini was called Dread Pirate Roberts. Yeah. Anyways, 75-25 base, really pretty, really squishy. Like I said, cast on 60 stitches. I did change the patterns called for 1x1 rib to a 1x1 twisted rib. I did do the included short row heel, and this pair of socks was cast on toe up, which is not a usual for me, but it was fun. I think I did mention last knitting episode that I made them slightly too short just because I'm not used to knitting toe up. But once I block these, I think I should easily be able to just kind of yank on them a little bit and fix that. So I'm not too concerned. But look at this patterning. You definitely have to pay attention. I'm not gonna lie about that, but it's so pretty. All the seed stitch, cables, those beautiful diamonds. I loved knitting these. They were really fun. So I'm excited to have them done. So I have one project that is not a pair of socks, so I thought I would show that first, I guess. This is my nurtured sweater. It is a pattern from Andrea Mowry. I have it in this pretty bag from that crafty little fox. So I made a decent amount of progress on this. As always, I can't talk. So I'm still working on the sleeve. This is where I was last time, this progress keeper here. So yeah, just working away on the sleeve. This yarn is from Woolberry Fiber Co. It is their Berry Merino, I think? Berry Natural. It is 100% natural merino, and the colorway is my favorite sweater. It is so squishy. I wish you guys could feel it. It is like the squishiest thing ever. This texture is gorgeous and so simple. 4 rows. I have it memorized already. Very easy. So yeah, just working on the sleeve. I did drop down a couple needle sizes for this pattern. I find Andrea Mowry knits really tight. So I always have to drop down a couple needle sizes with basically all of her patterns. I don't think there's been a time I haven't. So for my ribbing needle, I used a 3.5 millimeter AUS 4, and for the rest of this, I'm using a 4 millimeter, which is a US 6. So yeah, just working on the sleeve. I am 6 repeats in, and I think there are 9. So getting close. I haven't picked this up this past week. We went away for a little bit, and a sweater was not on my list of things to bring. So I just brought a couple pairs of socks. That's why that one pair of socks was completed. Just because that's an easier travel knitting thing for me. But I will hopefully work on this again in the next 2 weeks. Next project is in a Birch Grove bag. This is my pair of Into the Woods socks. This is a pattern by Melody Hoffmann. I am knitting it out of a Dragon Hoard Yarn Club colorway. It is called the Burrow. This was a Christmas Club colorway from a couple years ago, I think. It's on her Lore base, which is a 85-15, so super soft, super wonderful. I forgot to put a progress keeper on this from last time, so I'm not 100% sure where I was last episode, but this is where I am now. So I'm getting close to being done the first sock. I have the heel in here, quite a bit of the foot. I'm knitting this for about a size 8 foot. I've said before, size 8 is basically the size of sock for everyone that I gift socks to, except for my husband and my dad. So I am making a big box of socks that I can gift in size 8s, and then when I need a gift pair of socks, I can just go grab one, and I'm good to go. So, like I said, these are the Into the Woods socks by Melody Hoffmann. They just have this really pretty kind of tree pattern. Makes sense why it's called Into the Woods. But yeah, it looks like little trees all over the socks. And I love this colorway too. I wish it wasn't a club colorway because it's so pretty. It's so unique. I cast 64 stitches on for this pair of socks, 2.25 millimeter needles, a US 1, a 1x1 twisted rib. I think this pattern may have called for just a typical 1x1 rib as well. I can't remember. Slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and there is a little garter panel on each side of this heel flap. And I think it will just have a wedge toe. I'm pretty sure that's what the pattern calls for. But I should get my butt in gear and get this sock finished, because that's always satisfying to have one done and cast on the next one and be halfway done a project. I like that a lot. This next project is something you guys haven't seen in quite some time. I have it in this bag here from Tiny Human Knits, and surprisingly, I don't think I clued into this until now, but the yarn is also from Tiny Human Knits. I am knitting just a simple pair of vanilla socks. If you've been watching me for a while, I had originally cast on 2 different vanilla socks at the same time, but in different colorways on the same needle. I had to split them apart. I couldn't do it anymore. So this is the one I decided to work on first. This colorway, like I said, is from Tiny Human Knits. It is the colorway 31. I think she released it to celebrate her 31st birthday. Where that cute little sheep from Corner of Craft is where I was last time. So I've worked a decent amount on these. I did put in a heel flap and gusset. This coordinating, that's what I was looking for. This coordinating color came with the self-striping yarn. So I put in a heel flap and gusset with that coordinating color. And again, I am working on the foot. Apparently I'm working on the foot on all my socks. I don't know. But this was really fun. I pulled this out, I think around July 4th, and put a whole bunch of work into it, and I really love these colors. They're super fun. I cast on 60 stitches for these, as they are a pair of socks for myself. I find for myself, for vanilla socks, 60 stitches fit perfect, and for pattern socks, 64 stitches fit me perfect. I did a 2x2 rib, and yeah, I already talked about the heel flaps, so that is where these are. I want to get these done. There's another vanilla pair of socks in this bag as well, and I'd really like to get both of them off of the needles and dive into my self-striping yarn stash, because I have a lot. And I want to knit it, I love it, but for some reason I don't reach for it that much. This one's going to be really short. Actually, no, I have one more thing I can talk about that I want to cast on, or not want to, I will be casting on. Anyways, next project. So one final project that I have been working on, again in another Birch Grove bag. These are the perfect sock bags. I can never say it enough. So this is a new cast on that I literally just cast on this morning, so there really isn't that much done on it. I just have the tiniest little toe, so I will just show you that quite quickly. I cast these on 2.25mm needles, a US 1, and as you can tell, I'm doing another toe-up pair of socks. So I will show you the yarn that I'm using. This is another sock set from Hey Sister Yarn Co. that I'm trying to use up and clear out of my stash. This was the final sock set from the Princess Bride sock club that I was a part of, I think it was last year. These cakes of yarn are again on their Allons-y base, which is a 75/25. This dark blue is called Shrieking Eels, and the purple is called Humperdinck. But I really like how they go together. And if I haven't already, I will be popping a picture on the side of the screen here of the socks that I've cast on. These are called the Fleuriste Socks. They are a pattern, again, from Sari Norlund. I am knitting a whole bunch of her patterns this summer, as she is running a sock knit along for her pattern. She's releasing a new pattern every month of the summer, and if you knit all of them, you can be entered in the knit along for prizes and stuff. And I love her patterns, so I thought I might as well join in and use up some sock sets, and it'll be super fun. So that is what I am doing. For this pair of socks, once the toe is done, I will be up to 64 stitches, which is good. As the past two I've knit are 60 stitches. They're fine once I block them, but 64 is just more of a comfortable space for me. So I'm happy about that. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Disappointed in how short this is. I guess once you get going talking about the socks, it's hard to come up with anything new. And like this pair, is it really even worth showing a itty bitty toe? There's not much to see there. So yeah. Like I said, the past couple weeks, I don't know, we've been busy. We went on the trip, and so I didn't do much then because I was enjoying the trip, which was nothing special. We literally just went and sat on the beach for a couple days with our dog. And then, I don't know, I've been liking cross-stitching. I've been hiding from the heat. You'd think I'd be using working outside as an excuse, but it has been so warm here, like 35, 40 degrees, way too warm. Way too warm, so I've been enjoying hiding inside in the AC a lot. I guess one thing I can talk about, I do have something that I'm meaning to cast on this next couple week period. I'm going to be doing another test knit for Lindsay Fowler of Lost and Fond on Instagram. It is the coziest looking pair of like slipper socks for the winter with mohair and cashmere yarn, and I was so excited, so I will definitely have those to show you guys next episode. Looking forward to casting those on. I might actually wind up the yarn for it after I'm done this, so I can start after I'm done editing this video. That is what I'm gonna do. Anyways, I'm just rambling, trying to make this video longer, and that's silly. So thank you so much for coming and watching. If you've been here before, I really appreciate it. If you're new, I really appreciate it as well. I upload new videos every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and I alternate between knitting and cross stitch videos. So this week is knitting, next week is cross stitch. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And if you haven't rang the little bell, that is pretty great too. It lets you know when I upload new videos, as YouTube isn't always so great at doing that. But yeah, thank you again. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you again next week. Bye.